Welcome to the She Rises Collective podcast, a permission slip, a portal, and a hug all in one. A sacred space where stories soften us, truth unearths us, and sisterhood waters what's been waiting to grow. I'm Sonia Welch, wife and mama to a whole bunch of kids, certified trauma-informed life and transformation coach, entrepreneur, storyteller, heart and soul-driven woman walking life right alongside you. This is where we talk about the real stuff. Motherhood, relationships, money, career, business, healing and reinvention, sisterhood, the day-to-day, becoming the woman you know you're meant to be, and everything in between. Nothing is off limits here. We alchemize struggle into strength, pain into purpose, and we rise together. Raw, honest, wildly empowered. As the artist of our lives, let's take the raw materials of life and make freaking art, because you can be a masterpiece and a work of art at the same time. And if there's one thing I want you to know, it's this. No matter your past or your present, your future can be wildly beautiful, and you deserve a life that makes your soul scream, yes, more, please. If you're here, it's not by accident, you were led. And this space was created for you because this isn't just a podcast, it's a movement. A sacred soul-led space to come together, connect and laugh in a space that is real and raw, encompassing the complexities and dynamics of life, hand in hand, growing and rising together. This is the She Rises Collective podcast. Welcome home. Hello, beautiful soul. Do you know what the most liberating thing you can ever do is? Do you know the thing that's going to unlock new layers of freedom for you internally and externally, because our outer world is a reflection of our inner world? It is this: finding your way back home to you. But what does this even mean? Isn't who we are home? But this is why so many people feel disconnected, because they aren't living in alignment with who they really are underneath the layers that have been piled on by life events, expectations, society, systems, parents, culture, family members, peers, influencers, all the shoulds, the walls and personas we've used as armor. Like, who are we really underneath it all? Underneath who we had to become to survive, underneath who we had to become to feel accepted, underneath who we had to become to fit in, underneath the expectations from parents and society, underneath the walls of protection because feeling hurt and pain again is too much, underneath the fear, underneath the stories we tell ourselves, underneath the beliefs we've adopted that we've never really questioned, underneath the survival mode, underneath the nervous system that is still unregulated, underneath the stories our mind tells us to keep us safe, underneath the weight of it all, underneath the facade of trying to keep it all together, underneath the terrifying idea that maybe we aren't living our own life. I know that was deep, but do you know who you truly are? There's a statistic that says 95% of people believe they are self-aware, but in reality, only about 10 to 15% actually are. This comes from psychologist Dr. Tasha Eurich, one of the leading experts on self-awareness. During a 5-year study she and her team conducted with 5,000 participants, including in-depth interviews and quantitative assessments. Most people think they know themselves, but are actually operating from conditioning, protection, and survival. There is so much power and so much liberation in shedding the layers of who we are not, and healing and reconnecting to our truth and accessing true self-awareness, not just surface level introspection, but the real deep introspection that leads to not just self-awareness, but self-mastery. Remember that old MTV reality show? And maybe I'm aging myself here, but it had that famous tagline, "You think you know, but you have no idea." That just popped in my head. There was a time in my life that everything felt off and hard, And I was so desperate to become that woman, the one that has it all together, the Pinterest clean home, doing crafts with the kids, being present instead of my mind everywhere else while trying to be intentional with my kids. Up early with my morning routine of meditation and journaling and getting in the sun, all before the house actually woke up. Having my to-do list with my color-coded planner and self-worth that smelled like eucalyptus and oat milk. I bought mindset courses, toddler parenting courses, but there I was, always resorting back to rage journaling with a melted peanut butter cup in one hand and my toddler sock in another, realizing that I wasn't becoming more me. I was just performing the put together versions of together that weren't really mine. I didn't need a routine. I needed a reunion with myself. I didn't need to become a better version of someone else. I needed to remember who I was before I fell apart, before life got a hold of me. The goal isn't to be palatable, perfect, or Pinterest worthy. The goal is to get to know ourselves and to find our way back to who we are, to what lights us up individually, to what feels good to us, because my idea of joy, fun, success, my desires are going to be different than yours and yours different than mine, as they should be. I might love fun, adventurous traveling all the time, warm weather in the beach, slow mornings and sleeping in. Success to me is making an impact in this world through the empowerment and healing work that I do with women. But to you, it might be not having to focus on anything other than your family, your children, and being present in your home, because who you raise is your impact in the world. You might love country living and cozy winter weather. You might like having a few close friends, and I might like having tons of friends. You might like cooking homemade meals, and I might like takeout and buying meal prep. We're each unique with a different internal blueprint. And I'm not saying that journaling or meditating and getting up before the house are bad. Those are practices that I love and enjoy. And some seasons, that's what happens. And some seasons, it isn't. But the point is the emphasis of not taking on what someone else's definition of what you need or who you are. Because the truth is, buying the planner, sipping the green juice, reading the self-help book, downloading the habit tracker, slapping on an affirmation that you don't really believe, and forcing a smile isn't going to work. No matter how curated my morning routine looked on paper, my nervous system was still on edge. My thoughts still loud. My joy still felt far away because I wasn't trying to heal. I was trying to perform healing. And the truth is, you can't become who you truly are while trying to be who the world told you to be. Most of us have no idea how many layers we're carrying, not just to-do lists and responsibilities, but layers of shoulds, shame, suppression, perfectionism, people-pleasing, and protection. Layers of conditioning from culture, religion, family, and fear. Identities we didn't choose, we inherited them. Stories we didn't write, we absorbed them. And for years, we wear them like armor, thinking it's what keeps us safe. But all it really does is keep us stuck. This is why so many women feel disconnected, like something's missing, like they're meant for more, but they can't name what. It's not because you're broken. It's because you're buried. Real liberation isn't about becoming someone new. It's remembering who you've always been underneath it all. It's not a glow up, it's a coming home. And that's the sacred rebellion. Not loud, not flashy, just honest, quiet, personal. It's the choice to finally stop performing and to start becoming. So, I want you to pause and think about this. When was the last time you made a decision that wasn't based on what you should do? When was the last time you wore what you wanted, said what you meant, did what lit you up without filtering it through someone else's lens, or a lens that you've had for so long you don't even realize that it's not really yours? So many of us are living from someone else's blueprint, or a blueprint that is like been synergistically compiled and put together by all of our life experiences. Performing instead of living, surviving instead of thriving. But here's the truth that changed everything for me. You don't need to become someone new. You just need to come home to who you've always been. Here are 6 powerful takeaways that you can take into your week ahead. Number 1, you don't need a better routine. You need a reunion with yourself. Liberation doesn't come from habit trackers and curated checklists. It comes from shedding the layers of who you were told to be so you can remember who you truly are. Number 2, real healing isn't performative. You can't self-help your way home by mimicking someone else's version of joy. True healing requires honest self-awareness, nervous system repair, and radical self-permission. This doesn't mean that self-help, self-development, personal growth isn't important, but it has to be your journey. Number 3, most of us are not living as ourselves. We're living through the layers. Conditioning, protection, performance, and inherited beliefs often dictate our choices more than our true desires. Awareness is the first step to freedom. Number 4, the goal isn't perfection, it's presence. What feels like disconnection is often misalignment. You're not broken, you're buried. And the sacred rebellion is the choice to start unearthing your truth. Number 5, you don't need to become someone new. You just need to come home to who you've always been. True liberation isn't about the glow up, it's about coming home. Number 6, the sacred rebellion begins with one honest question. When was the last time you made a decision that wasn't based on what you should do or someone else's blueprint? And in the next episode, I'm going to walk you through exactly what that looks like, how to begin your sacred rebellion, how to shed the layers, remember who you are, and finally start living from a place that feels like you. So meet me back here because we are just getting started. Thank you so much for tuning in to the She Rises Collective podcast. If this episode moved you, inspired you, reminded you of your power, or you just plain enjoyed it, please take a second to subscribe, share it with a friend, leave a review, and even share it to your social media. Your voice helps this show reach more women who are ready to rise. If you're craving deeper support, real conversations, or want to explore working together, head to SoniaWelch.com or come say hi on Instagram or Facebook to stay connected. I'd truly love to hear what's landing for you. My coaching work is about the sacred journey of rising, becoming, and expansion into the most beautiful version of you. It's the synergy of mind, heart, soul, and body work that we do in my world that creates a vortex of deep self-remembrance, unlocking your fullest potential, the kind that births lasting transformation and activates the truth of who you are. It's a recalibration of who you are at your core, a deep initiation into your power, your purpose, and your potential. Remember, you are the artist of your life. You are allowed to rewrite your story. You are worthy of more joy, more peace, and more soul-screaming yes moments than you've ever allowed yourself to believe are even possible. This is about living a life of intoxicating joy, doing what lights you up, a life that roars into the world and creates ripple effect impact, because it's not just about us. This is how we shift paradigms, take our power back, and give others permission to do the same, just by being who we truly are and letting our magic be felt and seen. Until next time, keep rising, keep becoming, and don't forget, joy is rebellion, and you are here to make it roar. You are loved and you are supported here.